What is up, everybody? It's Zachary Reality, and welcome to Zachary Reality. We are chatting today with Jack Usher from The Anonymous, the most recently eliminated contestant. Jack, I must say, I am so shocked. I thought you were going to win the entire time.
Wow, Zach, that makes two of us.
But like the edit on the show, you were giving main character, you were the anonymous so many times, you were playing such a strategic game. You really had this in the bag, and it was maybe it became too obvious. I don't know, but I'm just like really shocked at how things transpired. How do you feel about it?
Well, I'm so thrilled that I got to play. I'm a gamer. I love games. I'm a diehard fan of countless reality competition TV shows. So the chance to play is amazing. I really had almost no expectations going in. I was just like, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna play hard, and I really got to play. I really got in there. And so I'm really pumped and proud. And obviously, there was a certain point where I think I got in my head and it became, real. And I realized I was doing so well. And I think that was when it's like, oh, wow, I could totally win this. And honestly, I feel like uh, that mentality shift was like, maybe my biggest blunder in the game. I,
Mhm.
I think I started doing too much. Um, anyways, I all that said, I had so much fun.
Mhm.
So I would like for everyone to know that I feel great about it. It was
Mhm.
it was an unbelievable experience.
I'm glad. Yeah, because I wasn't sure if you would be a little bitter about how you kind of went home. I mean, you kind of targeted Victoria. You were trying to break up her and Christopher. I mean, of course, a couple in the house is a big target. You were pretty ballsy in that group chat, and she was the one that ended up, sending you home. So kind of how do you feel about her decision to take you out?
Oh, she absolutely should have taken me out of the game. I
Mhm.
think for me it's just a little unlucky because there is a luck factor. A, how well you play, that's in your control, but also who ends up with the anonymous. And a way I was approaching this game is trying to make sure as few people would eliminate me as possible at any point, which is kind of why I was playing up the couple, because then I think, oh, if you're Nina, Lily, Bisma uh get the anonymity, then I think Christopher is going home before me. So that's really how I was trying to play the game. So a little unlucky that Victoria ended up playing so well. Uh hey, kudos to her. I think she made the right call 100%.
And how did you feel about Dylan putting you up and also seeing his reaction on the show last night? He seemed really upset that you were gone and he felt guilty about it, but then he kind of had like this weird speech at the end which didn't really make sense to me. So how do you where do you stand with him?
I think Dylan was just trying to have a fun time. And, in this game, you're just trying stuff. And part of the game is trying to become the anonymous. And that maybe means putting people up at risk who you don't necessarily want to send home. I did it for the whole first handle. That was my whole strategy. I didn't want to send Andy home at all. But I wanted to become the anonymous and it worked. So, I don't blame anybody. We're playing a game. Like you gotta play. Someone else might be bitter about these things, but I'm the gamer. I know it's a game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I all love to Dylan. Dylan's incredible.
And where do you stand with Andy? Because you really went kind of after him in that group chat, and he was pretty shocked, and felt kind of like whoa, like after it was revealed, who you were.
Andy and I are on incredible. We've had multiple calls as the show's been released. We're on opposite sides of the country, but I know his family is not the biggest fan of mine.
Hmm.
Um, but we're working on that relationship. Andy and I have nothing but love for each other. Um, I think you come on this game and everybody came ready to play. And so I think there's a bit of an understanding
Hmm.
that the game kind of demands that you be a little deceitful and underhanded. There's maybe strategies where you don't have to be, but I think the most successful ones sort of demand it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think everybody understands, and Andy and I have nothing but love.
Yeah. Where do you want to see the game go? We are nearing the end of the season. Is there a particular person you want to see win, or maybe like a way that the show ends? Because we don't really know the rules exactly how this is going to unfold. So what do you kind of want to see, in the final few episodes?
I would love to see anyone win it, but I want to see them earn it.
Mm,
That's really what I want. I want to come away from the show feeling like the winner played and they went hard. And I think people are playing different strategies. And, as the gamer, I've got my own viewpoints on the game and games in general. I like to see people doing smart things and playing hard. But, everyone's playing different. And for example, like Christopher playing
mhm,
such a like pretty hard on his sleeve game.
mhm.
And I would never play like this, but it's working. So in a sense, like he's playing his whole version of the game, and you got to respect that. All
Yeah.
that to say, I would love to come away from the game and feeling like whoever won earned it.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I really thought it was going to be you, but there are some good contenders up there. I also wouldn't mind seeing Lily win. I think that she's been playing, up with her back against the wall for a really long time, and she hasn't had a lot of allies. What do you think about her gameplay?
Lily's been amazing. So obviously she's benefited a lot by Xavier and then me sort of like deciding, oh, we can sort of pretend to be Lily, which actually is very beneficial to her in anonymous mode. Um, but you really see her with this second handle playing hard, and I loved that. I thought that was so sick. Going in as robot, putting Nina at risk. Um, I instantly clocked it right on the episode where I got eliminated, but I thought that was really cool from Lily.
Hmm. And as a gamer yourself, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about like your experience with that, but what do you think of the game, the anonymous, the rules? Is there any kind of, things you would change about it for future seasons?
Yeah, I think the game is awesome. I really think it's a blend of what I think are, really good parts of other games,
Hmm.
which is, that's it's a tried and true way to make a game. Tons of games have been made that way, and so it works. I really think the game is good, and there's a lot of freedom and room for exploration and strategy. What's something I would change about the game? I really think the face off does a fun thing where it kind of makes people show their cards in a way. And
Mm.
I think that that's cool. And I would love to see more variety of games that are maybe social bluffing games outside of anonymous mode that
Hmm.
maybe force people to put more cards on the table. I'll give you another example is like you watch The Circle.
Of course.
So The Circle, they've got forced uh messiness in the various games. They force
Hmm.
you to put someone who's the most two-faced player, the superlative nominate, just a
Yes.
bunch of stuff. And I think a fun wrinkle would be maybe like you could add that into anonymous mode as well.
Hmm.
Um, the anonymous chat got pretty,
They're pretty
messy on its
heated.
own, but
Yeah.
I do think that that's those little like forced moments are fun
Hmm.
because some players definitely take a back seat in anonymous mode, and if you were forced to, be a little messy or something, it would make more people sort of play their hands or open up more room for deceit. That could maybe be a fun addition.
For sure. Rapid fire questions, really quick. One word
Please.
answers. Who was the messiest in the group chat?
Wow, the messiest in the group chat. Honestly, it might have been me. I was really messy in the group chat.
Mm,
I thought being messy was fun, and I also thought being like a little bit mean and messy is just like not who people would think I am. So I thought
mm.
that was like, you're coming into the chat trying to be like, what's the farthest thing from me? How can I deceive people? And so it's like, I
Yeah.
really think being like a little bit mean and messy is like, that's the most not me thing. Any
Hmm.
like strategic play I could do, in my mind, people could be like, oh, that's Jack. So that was what I tried to do, which I think made me particularly messy.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to like double reverse it. Like even the lipstick, like you've got to assume that's a guy pretending to be a girl. Like why would a girl do that? It's too obvious. Who do you think is the biggest floater in the game or that's still there? Like who's kind of been riding the waves the longest?
Wow, who's been riding the waves the longest? That's so interesting. I mean, because everybody's playing a different game. So in a sense, nobody, you gotta have respect for everyone. I
Mm,
mean, in a sense, Christopher, because everyone, or no, yeah, Christopher, because everyone knows who he is.
hmm
And but in a sense, it's like it's a good strategy because why am I going to eliminate him if I know who he is all the time? He's never
hmm
getting the power. So
Yeah,
it's a good try. In a sense, he's not riding the waves at all.
yeah.
So I guess that's my answer, but I don't feel amazing about it.
Yeah. Jack, it was an honor to talk to you. I'm so glad that we got to chat and hear more about your game. Wish you could have made it further, but I'm hoping you show up at the end in some capacity so that, to kind of get closure on this season. Where could everybody find you and follow you?
I'm on TikTok, Jack_Usher. I make content about video and board games,
Mhm.
sketches, um, and I'm currently working on a documentary about the myself and my friends playing in the competitive Settlers of Catan board game scene. If that sounds interesting to you, follow me because it's going to be pretty sick.
I love it. And everybody make sure to watch The Anonymous at 10 p.m. ETPT on Mondays on the USA Network. And we will see you guys next week for a new interview. Bye.